Good morning. It's Friday, January the 8th, and this is the heart of the matter. It would not be a stretch to say that Jesus' teaching was radical, especially what we see in his most famous sermon, the Sermon on the Mount. He said things that had never been heard before, unexpected things, radical things. Like, for instance, that those who come in last are actually first, and that giving is receiving, and that the least are the greatest, that weakness is strength, that serving is the way to greatness. He challenged almost all the conventional wisdom of the day. And maybe nothing Jesus said is more unconventional than what he said in Matthew 5, verse 5. He said, "Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth." There is nothing in the value system of our world that encourages meekness. No one says, to get ahead, just be meek. In fact, our world says that the strong inherit the earth, and that to the victor goes the spoils. We encourage power and strength and self-promotion and self-confidence. We think of meekness as a negative character quality, something to be overcome and avoided. We think that meek people are nothing more than doormats, something to be stepped on. Someone compared the meek to lambs among a pack of wolves in our world, and that's probably true. But yet, here, Jesus encourages meekness. He makes meekness a prerequisite to happiness and contentment in life. How can there be such a disconnect between what the world condemns and what Jesus commends? The problem is that we just don't understand this word meek that he uses. It doesn't mean weak. It doesn't mean shy. It doesn't mean powerless. In fact, it means quite the opposite. The biblical word for meekness means power under control, or strength that is contained. So a meek person is not one who can't defend himself. It is the one who chooses not to. It is not the person who has no power. It is the person who possesses great power and yet shows restraint in using it. It is not the person who cannot strike back. It is the person who can, but chooses not to. Meekness is Jesus. It is Jesus remaining silent before Pilate instead of defending himself. It is Jesus on the cross, allowing himself to be crucified for the sins of man instead of exercising the power of deity and coming down from that cross. Meekness is Jesus hearing insult after insult as he hung there and yet not answering back. That's meekness. The question for us is this: are we willing, as followers of Jesus, to show that same kind of restraint and power under control? Are we willing to take insults without fighting back? Are we willing to forgive instead of getting even? Are we willing to forego vengeance when we have every right to even the score? The world would say, be strong, be a man, show them who's boss. It's all about winning. Jesus would say, turn the other cheek. The key to all this is patience, because the rest of the verse promises that those who are meek will inherit the earth. That's a future blessing that requires our patience. Those who throw their weight around might rule the earth now, in the present tense, but Jesus promises that the meek will win the day someday in the future. And that's the heart of the matter.